The member for Morialta.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to take the opportunity on the day after the release of the NAPLAN results and several days after we've celebrated World Teachers' Day here in South Australia to commend and to thank our South Australian education workforce. Numbering over 40,000 people across all sectors, they dedicate their lives to serving our children and young people, to giving them the foundation skills they need to prosper through their schooling and to succeed and thrive in life. Teaching is a calling, it's a profession that many people admire. It's a profession filled with people who are good, who work hard, who despite 2.5 years of pandemic have kept children and young people's needs at the focus and at the centre of what they do. And it hasn't necessarily been an easy time for many. Indeed, as I know the Minister would observe if he were speaking at this moment, when many people were able to work from home, we asked of our teachers that they continue to go to school and give their children their support. That was what the health advice said, that was what the scientific advice said, but it was certainly a time of great anxiety throughout 2020 and 2021. And in 2022, when the rest of the community has enjoyed the benefits of removed restrictions and reduced restrictions and more freedoms, the consequential effect in our schools has been inversely disruptive. And I would suggest that for the experience of many students and many teachers in South Australia, 2022 has been easily the most disruptive and difficult year of the pandemic. But despite 3 years of those complex challenges facing our teaching workforce, they have maintained a focus on supporting our children to be everything they can be, and they have maintained a focus on standards, giving our children and young people the skills that they need. World Teachers' Day was a wonderful celebration. I commend Educators SA and indeed everyone involved from all of the professional associations in education for the celebrations on Friday, and thank all our schools and preschools who marked it as well. Yesterday the NAPLAN results came out, and there's been a range of different public commentary on those results. Sir, I have taken the time to study those results in depth, and I offer some reflections which I'm sure our teaching workforce would be interested in. Can I say to the House and to the people of South Australia, there are some things to be celebrated. It is a mixed bag, but there are some things to be very strongly celebrated. Our Year 3 and 5 students in South Australia had the best ever scores in the history of NAPLAN in South Australia in their reading and their writing. And our Year 3 students had the best ever scores in the history of NAPLAN in South Australia for their spelling. We've been doing this test since 2008, and the people setting the test at ACARA endeavour to have the same standard throughout, so that 1 year is comparable more or less to the year before. And so therefore the mean score for South Australian students in each of those environments went up in the last year, to the point where it is better than it has ever been. And that is intentional work that has been done by our teachers in our education department, and work that was inspired by reforms of the Marshall Liberal government, with help from a trial that was offered when the Deputy Premier was the Education Minister in 2017, to be sure, but it was a commitment from the Liberal Party at the time, implemented in government, to have a Year 1 phonics check for all of our Year 1 students, to check that they weren't slipping through the gaps. But more than the check, it was an entire body of work in professional development and training, and the introduction of a new unit in the Department for Education's Learning Improvement Division, now Curriculum and Learning Division, called the Literacy Guarantee Unit, a unit that has been described by advocates such as Sandra Marshall from Dyslexia SA and many others as the envy of other states around Australia. The introduction of decodable readers, the abolition of the running records program, which was based on the outdated whole language approach to teaching reading. All of these things were undertaken during the 4 years of reforms. Now, many people were concerned about them, many people were against them, but in ensuring that we were able to undertake those reforms which I congratulate the new government for their commitment to continuing, that we have put our youngest children in schools in the best position to get effective reading instruction. And it's showing in those NAPLAN tests. What that foundation provides is now that reading reforms are embedded in our education department, we can have confidence those students will be able to access the range of the curriculum through their primary years. Our results in NAPLAN should continue improving, they must, and that's the basis on which the government will be judged. And indeed, as we work now to enhance numeracy skills and other skills, those reforms will too have the chance to succeed because we've got the basics right in the early years. And I congratulate all of those teachers who have worked so hard to change their practice over the last 4 years, and even more, those who have always been doing world's best practice. It's a good set of results from that point of view.
Member for Davenport.